Welcome back to the show. Not only does everything run on the XRP ledger, I think we just found out that Ripple becomes a bank, and that may mean the new Federal Reserve. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show. You can follow us on X, YouTube, and digperspectives.com for exclusive content. Right now, $2.81 trillion market cap for crypto. The market's off 0.8%. We see Bitcoin 83,100 plus, 1,900 plus for Ethereum. XRP at 233. We're up 0.9 on the 24. We're up 5.8 on the 7-day, while everything else on the 7-day is off. Ethereum taking a beating through this last round of downside here out of everybody else. Bitcoin down to 83, as we said. We'll keep an eye on it. The range of price for XRP between 228 and 237. Oh, this is going to get fun, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait to start today. But I do want to tell you, we're going to have one heck of a session in the Freedom Zone today, and I hope you'll join us. All you got to do is click that join button right here by the title at the bottom. Just click that join button or click the drop down more button and join us on Patreon or directly on YouTube. Here's the upside. What's the upside? Why would you do that? You would do that because just the daily videos I post every day, zero Google ads, gone forever, and the extra content, just the zero Google ads every day, worth the price of admission, because we're talking about less than the cost of a cup of coffee. Join us inside. Oh, we're going to have some fire today. Here we see Bitcoin not only makes America great, but will spread economic prosperity to the rest of the world, says Michael Saylor. I think DAI's got this right. It's either yachts or a padded cell for this guy. But let's listen to just a piece of this because he does make some good points in here regardless, right? So take a listen.
Networks. And I said, what's the winner? What's the safe one? What's the secure choice? And we sifted through and we said, well, the largest, most valuable one appears to be Bitcoin. Has it been copied? Can it be copied? Well, it had been copied 10,000 times and they had all failed. Bitcoin, it was the winner. It attracted all the smart capital. Satoshi launched Bitcoin, disappeared from history forever, disclaimed any beneficial ownership and said, I don't control it, I don't own it. It is my gift. It is sovereign money. Bitcoin is the safest bank. I think
But we know something that isn't being told here, and it's about the 4 Satoshis. We know there is something else. It's the 4 Satoshis, right? Well, okay, I want you to listen to this right here. Listen to this 1-minute clip from a video I made over the weekend. Check it out. 1 second. Nonetheless, I do think it speaks to what I have said here about the idea that Bitcoin's been floated in as this financial band-aid. I've even gone as far as to say, for the geopolitical argument's sake, you're watching the tariffs be used as a leverage tool to get U.S. manufacturing back in this country and out of China. And in order to do that, I think you have to recognize Bitcoin, or China is the second largest holder of Bitcoin, which means that if they put it in a strategic reserve in the US, they're obviously going to drive the price up. And who's going to benefit? The second largest holder of Bitcoin, China, right? Well, if they're going to benefit and you're ripping the manufacturing out of their country, which is the heart of their economy, and they're in a recession right now, this may be the parting gift to keep us from physical war with China. So more to come. We'll follow it. Think of that for a moment. That Bitcoin could be used as a bargaining chip, a tool, just like the tariffs themselves. Don't write it off just yet. I know some of you might think, you know what, Brad, I spoke to the home and you're going back. Well, hang in there with me now. Hang in there. Just give us a break a second here. Think of it for a moment. It's now 2025. This just makes sense. This is all the way back in 2013 when they said back in 2013 that you could put Bitcoin on the ledger, for goodness sakes. Chris Larson told us since 2014 they've had Bitcoin on the ledger. Ripple users got access to more than 8,500 Bitcoin accepted merchants as well as the rest of the Bitcoin world, right? using a new feature called the Bitcoin Bridge. This is the early days of Ripple, back when they were open coin, launches Bitcoin Bridge, an e-commerce enabler for Ripple. You know, this is why I've been saying for years and years and years, everything runs on the ledger. And you'll see why even more so in a minute. But just coming back to this for a second. Understanding the Department of Homeland Security has interviewed the four Satoshis. Yet the United States continues to act as if they don't know who Satoshis are. Tells me that Bitcoin is quite possibly a government psyop disguised as a libertarian movement. Placing Bitcoin in a U.S. strategic reserve will boost its value. China is the second largest holder of Bitcoin, so it will boost their Bitcoin holding as well. Now ask yourself, why would President Trump, who loves America, agree to pump China's bags unless the U.S. gets our manufacturing back? Think art of the deal. Remember when Brad Garlinghouse posted he was excited about the new stablecoin policy is on its way, and thanking those that have helped bring it to the fore. It is headed to the Senate floor for a vote. Well, stay with me. We're talking about the Genius Act for the stablecoin bill. Well, this is Senator Tim Scott, and listen, he says crypto is here to stay.
It was a really good week. Cryptocurrency is here to stay. We want to innovate in America before we overregulate it. We had a framework put in place led by Senator Hagerty, Senator Lummis, myself, making sure that the stable coins, to understand stable coins, it's kind of like a traveler's check on the blockchain. It gives people more access to the resources, and it will reduce the cost of doing business in America.
The question is, not to interrupt Senator Scott, but the question is here is what will it all run on? Now, I know that it's going to be a multi-chain world. In fact, the XRP ledger has a built-in decentralized exchange that truthfully allows all other chains of the world to plug into it, because that way it could be a world exchange. But you know what? Before it becomes that, we need the first layers required for the true Internet of Value, as Austin King highlights. And this is why using crypto is so difficult today. We don't have it yet. And what have I been pounding the ground? That we don't have the U.S. market infrastructure for the new digital on-chain economy. That's what legislation for stablecoin, tax, and market infrastructure will bring to the world. Austin King, I asked him, I said, well, where does XRP Ledger sit in this stack for us to get this Internet of Value? Well, Austin answered us and said that, you know what? It needs to be right here in this protocol layer, ILP, XRP Ledger, and I'm sure there'll be others too, and then stacks as well, applications. This is what we need. We need the ledger adopted as the Internet of Value, as that protocol layer. Yeah, like TCP/IP, right? This is why I've been telling you about the World Exchange. Now, this is just a website, and this website connects you directly to the XRP ledger so you can make markets. It doesn't do anything other as a website. It's not an exchange. It's just a website face that connects you as an interface to the XRP ledger. That's what this is. Now, imagine after adoption and the entire world's connected to it. That's where we're going here. Here's a new commercial by Ripple for Ripple and XRP. Take a listen.
In a world of chaos and complexity, how does nature always seem to get it right? Some things go beyond random chance or happy accidents. Progress takes years of innovation, adaptation, and intuition. There are no shortcuts.
That's exactly right. I'm reminded of Linda P. Jones when she said, when it comes to money, that nothing's left to chance. I've never forgot it. We were doing an interview, and some things go beyond random chance, says Ripple. And you know what? It's exactly how I feel. We're talking about money here. Nothing here is left to chance. That's where this is going. And you remember the stablecoin bill that is now headed to the Senate floor? Well, I got something to share with you about that. I was wondering, because last year at XRP Las Vegas, and I hope you get your ticket, Last year at XRP Las Vegas, I sat on stage with the Honorable Christian Carlo, who, by the way, the head of the Digital Dollar Project. One of the talking points on stage was at that time, no stablecoin bill addressed right to privacy. How about the Genius Act? Does it? Well, I asked Grok, does the Genius Stablecoin Act address the right to privacy in the proposed bill? Well, you know what it says here? This is interesting. The Genius Act, take a look at this. The Genius Act classifies payment stablecoin issuers as financial institutions under the Bank Secrecy Act. Really? This means issuers must comply with anti-money laundering, counterfeiting, financial terrorism, right, which is CFTC, and sanctions regulations. These requirements involve monitoring, recording, and reporting certain transactions, which inherently involve collecting a processing user data. For example, issuers are required to establish compliance programs and, in some versions of the bill, must have the technical ability to freeze or block transactions if ordered by the Treasury Department or the court. Such measures could impact user privacy by necessitating the collection and potential disclosure of personal financial information to regulatory authorities. Now, so basically, if you're a payments stablecoin issuers as financial institutions under the Bank Secrecy Act, which is a real strong signal, understanding that Ripple launches their own stablecoin, the real USD, which means they are now considered a financial institution under the Bank Secrecy Act when the Genius Act is passed, which opens the door to have a bigger conversation about the fact that Ripple could quite possibly become the next Federal Reserve. They have their own money, real USD and XRP. It can't be dirt cheap, ladies and gentlemen. That doesn't make any sense. That's where that is. Technical analysts are showing maybe $14 potential by April. Egg Crypto has told us plenty of times that $8, $13, and $27 are on the menu. How about that? We're just waiting for the meal to come to the table. And we all know what needs to happen for that to take place. I can't tell you how excited I am about this video and what it could mean for Ripple becoming a financial institution and possibly the next Federal Reserve. And I can't tell you how excited I am. We're about to go into the Freedom Zone, and I hope you'll join us. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. We've got a lot to go over, and we're getting started right now. I hope you will join us. Click that join button for next to nothing, and come on in. All right, welcome back, everybody. We're going to